If you're in the market for a motorcycle, your best bet is to start shopping online. Go on CycleTrader.com, research the bike that you're looking for, look for the lowest price bike on there, and contact that dealer, and then you kind of like work your way to like a local dealership. I'll tell you where I ended up at price-wise on my SV650. I was initially shopping for the CF Moto 650 Naked at Legend Moto. That's where I seen the SV650 and kind of got my wheels going to start researching that bike. So I knew they had one in stock. So I went on CycleTrader.com. I kind of put in all the information for the SV650. I got the lowest price SV650 out there, which was in Virginia. I then cross-referenced that with Legend Moto and Broward Motorsports. I knew Legend Moto already had it, so I wanted to shop it around locally. I went to Broward Motorsports in Hobe Sound. That is the local dealership to me here on the Treasure Coast. Probably the worst dealership out there to try to buy a motorcycle. They got some really high fees. They had two in stock. I thought maybe we could get a deal done on it, but yeah, it was impossible to get a deal done there. The manufacturer destination charge for the SV650 on the Suzuki website is $590, and they have it here for $895. Anyway, their grand total on that bike out the door was $10,200 after disputing a $190 off-road fee that they had added on there. So I was at $10,200, and that wasn't including tags, title, and stuff like that. I just didn't see myself paying that much for a bike that was $7,400 out the door, $10,200. And just the inflated destination and prep fees kind of like deterred me from doing business there. Also, while I was there, the showroom is all glass, and you see like the sales guys like doing like hand signs to each other. One of the worst experiences trying to buy a motorcycle at Hobe Sound. Also linked the video up for the Fort Lauderdale location. I looked at it, MT-07 there. That bike was $7,900, and we were close to almost $12,000 out the door. Crazy. The fees are ridiculous at Broward Motorsports. I then called Legend Moto because I knew they had one in stock, and their price out the door was $9,261. That was already almost $1,000 savings right there from one dealership to another. I asked them what they can do on the price, if they could do a little bit better, and they took off $500, making it $8,761. I told them that I would get back to them. I had then already been on CycleTrader.com and gotten a price out the door on that same bike out in Virginia. I had to take into consideration that I would have to travel there, which I was okay with if the weather was better, but I didn't want to wait a couple months and then lose out on a deal that I could get right here in Florida. I'll tell you the numbers out in Virginia just so you know. If you're buying cash, you can get a better deal out of state more than likely, because you can't finance if you're from out of state. That's one thing I found out here in Florida. If you're not a Florida resident and you're trying to finance a recreational vehicle, you can't. It's not like buying a car. So if I was going to try to finance this bike out of state, more than likely I wasn't going to be able to do that out of state, so I would have to pay for it cash. The Virginia dealership gave me an out the door price of $7,843, but that was not including tax and the DMV fees. So that would bring me to about $8,572 if I added tax and the DMV fees. Out the door, almost $8,600 out in Virginia. So at that point, I mean, I already had an $8,761 deal here in Florida, and I didn't have to wait. I can go pick it up the next day if I really wanted to. So I gave them a call back and said, hey, this is the deal that I got going right now in Virginia. The guy said, well, you're not going to travel to Virginia and go get it. He was smart. He's right. It's cold. No, like I was okay traveling out to Virginia because I would have made content with it. He was like, so then what do I got to do to get you to buy the motorcycle here in the state of Florida from me? If you could get me closer to $8,600, I'll buy the bike there. And he right away was like, look, I'm not going to nickel and dime and lose a deal over $170. He's like, if you want the bike, $8,600, you got yourself a deal. I was like, okay, great. Send me over an invoice. I wanted it in writing before I travel 2 hours and get there and there's some BS fees or whatever. The guy sent me an invoice over in about 10 minutes. I put a deposit on it, picked up the bike 2 days later. I paid $8,600 for a 2023 SV650. That being said, if you found this bike cheaper anywhere else, if you paid less than $8,600 out the door for this bike, let me know in the comments down below where'd you buy it, how much you paid for it. If you've gotten screwed over at another dealership, I would love to hear that and research that dealership and maybe put them on blast.